Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan. Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. The big news. Are you ready? I've been trying, if you haven't noticed, I've been trying to delay talking about it because I'm not happy. I'm actually quite upset. Breaking news. Microsoft is closing multiple game developers this morning. Okay? 4, I believe. Yeah, here we go. Here's the 4 that are closing. Arcane Austin. And Arcane Austin is responsible for the recent massive failure Redfall. The Elder Scrolls Online co-developer Roundhouse. So they were a company that was working exclusively on Elder Scrolls Online. They're getting laid off. Alpha Dog, who's made Mighty Doom. If you don't remember, that was the game that was like Doom with like the cutesy characters or whatever. And I think that was, I don't know if we ever hit consoles, but I think it was a mobile game. And now here's the big one, the one that everyone is like, what? Are you ready? Tango Gameworks, the makers of the recent actual smash hit Hi-Fi Rush. What? Huh? They just made a hit game. Remember? It was the game that everyone was talking about last year, that no one even knew it existed. And then they dropped it on Game Pass. I think it was February 2023. And people played it and were like, whoa, this game is seriously good. So if this is an idea of what Tango Gameworks can do, this is amazing. The game actually won awards for sound design and all kinds of stuff. And they're laying the studio off. Now, to be fair, Tango Gameworks also made The Evil Within 1 and 2. And Hi-Fi Rush was actually a departure for them from their usual formula of content that they would make. The Evil Within 1 was a smash hit success. Of course, at that point, if you remember, Shinji Mikami was still working for the company. It was his company to begin with, and it was supposed to be his own edition of a Resident Evil game. It did very well, and then it led them to make a sequel. However, what happened with The Evil Within 2, I feel, is probably one of those sad, really infamous mismanagement stories that you hear in the game industry. So Evil Within 2 dramatically improved upon the original game in every way. The graphics were better. The gameplay elements and controls were better. The game opened up and wasn't just linear like the first game, but instead had many open areas you could explore with optional side quests and content. And overall, the plot was better and had a definitive and fun ending. What happened with it? I'll tell you what happened with it. They completely mismarketed it. Unlike Evil Within 1, where you saw ads everywhere, in the stores, on TV, online, there was almost no marketing whatsoever for Evil Within 2. No one even knew it was coming out, besides those following game release schedules. And so when it came out, everyone was like, huh? I didn't even know that was out. And then I played it. I was blown away at how good it was. And sadly, no one knew about it. Like, people were learning about the game by coming to my streams. And I was like, what? That's stupid. You know, I don't know what happened, why they marketed the hell out of the first Evil Within. It did really well. Then they decided to just not market the second one. And they just thought it was going to do good. That's not how gaming works. You know, that's not how business works or the industry. It doesn't make a lot of sense at all. Then remember, the next game that they made was Ghostwire Tokyo. And if you remember, Ghostwire Tokyo originally actually was supposed to be Evil Within 3, but then got changed into a totally different project about halfway through, redesigned to be a first-person ghost hunting game. And personally, I think visually it's nice, and the story is interesting. It just gets far too repetitive. Once you get about halfway into the game, it loses its steam because there's nothing else the game offers in the new gameplay department. But I mean, anytime, all right, that you hear of studios closing, you're sad, all right? But this is what? The 6th or 7th time in the last 4 months that we have heard of this happening in the games industry. And is it just me, or are we seeing a pattern now? Since Microsoft has bought Activision Blizzard, they just keep doing layoffs after layoffs after layoffs after layoffs. Okay? So, by the way, a lot of people have a lot to say about this. First of all, FYI, Redfall is completely done. After the game only being out for about 1 year, all production has been halted. Redfall's previous update is its last. They're ending all development on the game. Its servers will remain online for players to enjoy. However, there was a planned DLC that people already paid for in kind of a seasonal package, and Microsoft is claiming they're going to do a make good offer to make up for the fact that the DLC will never exist. What that will be, I have no idea. But dude, at this point, I just got to say to people out there, let this be a cautionary tale. Do not buy these season passes, because at any moment now, it seems like these game companies can do whatever they want, slash budgets, fire and lay off people, and the next thing you know, you got latched into seasonal content that ain't even going to exist, right? Like, that's ridiculous. They didn't even let them finish the DLC as promised by the original sales of the game. So that's really sad. So people all over the internet are speaking up about this. First of all, the guy who's the overall head of Arcane, not the guy that's head of Arcane Austin, but I forget his name. I forgot because I had it and I cut it off. Oh, here it is. Dinga Bakaba. He's the actual head of Arcane Studios, all right? Went on social media and actually posted up things that people never expected that the head of a studio would post. Here's what he posted word for word. This is absolutely terrible. Permission to be human. To any executive who may be reading this, a friendly reminder that video games are an entertainment and cultural industry, and your business as a corporation is to take care of your artists and entertainers and help them create value for you. Don't throw us into gold fever gambits. Don't use us as straw men for miscalculations and blind spots. Don't make our work environments Darwinist jungles. You say we make you proud when we make a good game. Well, make us proud when these times are tough. We know you can because we've seen it before. That is scathing. He is outright saying that management essentially don't know what the fuck they're doing at Microsoft. They have absolutely no idea how to run the company. Just listen to what he said, right? Don't throw us into gold fever gambits, right? Hey, this game's going to be a gold rush, everyone. Rush, 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 push, 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 get this game out, right? Don't use us as straw men for miscalculation and blind spots, right? If you're the management of a major gaming company and you put your eggs in a basket and it doesn't sell, whose fault was that? You're the one who told those fucking people to make that game, right? I hearken this back, all right, to EA and the Mass Effect developer BioWare making Anthem. Literally, BioWare told EA, we don't want to make this game. We are not good at cooperative online experiences. We're good at single-player narrative-based games. Let us make what we can cook. Let us cook our specialty. To which EA said, no, make this game because it's hot now. They ended up putting out Anthem, and it's the biggest flop they've ever made. And now they haven't put out a game in so many years, it's ridiculous, right? So what essentially Mr. Bakaba is saying is that management at these companies are making these big gambles on these ads and certain genres. Oh, this will print money for us. This will print money for us. This will print money for us. And then when it doesn't, they blame the developers who were ordered to make the game. You're the ones in charge. You're the one steering the ship. This would be the equivalent of a captain of a ship, literally with his hands on the fucking steering wheel, driving it into a cliffside, and then blaming his crew. Why did you do that? Captain, you're the one, you have the fucking helm. What the fuck are you talking about, you idiot? You know? And then keep going. Don't make our work environments Darwinist jungles. So essentially, survival of the fittest. You know what that means. We all know what's going on in game development. We know the climate. We know how it works. They are forced to be overworked. They are forced to work insane amounts of hours. They are forced to crunch, crunch, crunch. And essentially what he's saying is those who are able to do it seem to be getting rewarded, applauded, promoted. And those who are just normal fucking people and want to have a normal job are being basically told, well, survival of the fittest, too bad, right? Right? It's pretty fucked up. So, and again, this is a big scathing statement. You say that we make you proud when we make a good game. We'll make us proud when times are tough. We know you can because we've seen it before. So he's saying is, why is it that when we make something good, you say good job, but then you don't actually try to figure out the root cause of what happened or even help us at all when a game goes poorly? Instead, you just lay us off, right? It's kind of fucked up. I agree. Again, do you really think that the people who made Redfall sat there and they said, you know, today we decided we're going to make a bad game because there's just too many good ones out there? I mean, we made the Thief series, or not Thief, we made the Dishonored series, you know, we made Prey, those are good games. You know, we made Deathloop, that's kind of a debatable. Critics really liked it, other people didn't, but at least, you know, it's at least overall positively received. You know, we decided now we're just going to make a turd. We're going to sit down, we're going to put all this time and effort into making a really horrible game, right? I'm sure that's what they did. I mean, that's what all these game developers do, right? They just decide actively to make trash. Of course, right? In fact, what's funny about that is, if you remember when Redfall came out last year, and everyone knew the game was an unfinished, horrible mess, okay? Let's be honest here. What is going on, Jasper? He's standing here staring at me. When the game came out, Phil Spencer himself was interviewed, and he said, Phil, you know, you own Bethesda now. Microsoft owns Bethesda. Bethesda owns Arcane. So how did this game come out like this? Everyone, you could play for 5 minutes, you know the game's not done. It's not polished. It's not finished. It's full of bugs. What happened here? And Phil Spencer's response was, you know, maybe we should have had a little bit more of a hands-on approach with that one. So let me get this straight. You bought a company. You dictated they put out a certain amount of games, a certain style, and then you literally never checked on any of the projects. You just let them do whatever they wanted with no guidance, no help. You just said, just go ahead and make games, right? Yeah. Really, like if you're interviewing Phil Spencer, the CEO of Xbox Gaming, and the CEO, the guy in charge, says, oh, maybe we should have actually checked in on that one a little bit more. Is this guy a fucking idiot? Does he not understand that's literally his job? He's in charge. So when Redfall comes out and is a piece of steaming dog shit, it's not finished, it's broken, and everyone in the community is panning it because it's so bad, should it be Arcane that looks bad? No, it should be Phil fucking Spencer that looks bad, because he's the one who's responsible. He's the one in charge. He's the one who's steering the ship. Why did he not know that the game was unfinished? What the fuck does he do all day? Really? What do you do? If you're the CEO of Xbox Gaming, you're not checking on the fucking games your company makes? Then what do you do? I want to know. Anyway. Good Lord. So that's what Dingo Bakaba said. He's the head of Arcane. He's very, very upset with this decision to basically lay off Arcane Austin. Okay? By the way, in a little bit of an extra aside here, Arcane Austin, before making Redfall and failing miserably, had actually worked on the first Dishonored and actually developed the 2017 version of Prey by itself. So Arcane made Prey. Prey was a good game. I'm just going to tell you guys, if you didn't play it, 2017's Prey is a very good game. It's got a really neat, interesting story. It's got fun gameplay elements. It's got a lot of horror elements that are done really, really well. Tons of content, spooky monsters, and a lot of different variations in the story depending on your choices and what secrets and things that you discover. It's a really great game. I'm pretty sad that this is now the end of this studio, honestly. Now, here we go. I gotta say this, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, I wish I could make this up, but Xbox head of studios, Matt Booty, wrote an internal email to the staff saying the following: "We are making these tough decisions to create capacity to increase investment in other parts of our portfolio and focus on our priority games." What fucking games? Right now, realistically, can you say, anyone out there who follows the gaming industry, what are the big games that Microsoft is making right now? Can you name a single fucking game? It ain't Halo. That failed. Is it Gears of War? We haven't heard from that in years, and the last one was good, but it's certainly not what it used to be in the original trilogy, right? What are the big games? It ain't Starfield. Starfield is a huge failure and flop, and no one fucking likes it, right? Like, what are they talking about? What fucking games? Elder Scrolls, which we have no idea when it's coming out, and you have no idea of any time frame, we have no information about? What the fuck is he talking about? We're laying off people to focus on our big games. You don't have any big games. You are the head of Xbox Studios, and you have no fucking games. You are an idiot. You are inept at what you do, and you should be fucking fired for writing that email. Really. In fact, I'm going to say this, and you can quote me on this, and you can go ahead and clip this clip, all right? When these things are now happening, it's one thing if there's one round of layoffs. This is what? The third? Okay, since Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard, it's at this point becoming very clear that Microsoft was not ready to buy Activision Blizzard. Because if you're buying a giant company, you don't then lay off the equivalent number of employees from your existing company to make room for them. This is insanely bad management, all right? If you're going to make an incredible acquisition like that, you have to be ready for it. If you did that acquisition and you weren't ready for it, and now all these people are losing their jobs, there's only one solution, all right? The people who really should be losing their jobs are the people in management. Phil Spencer, Matt Booty, and all the other executives who championed the Activision Blizzard acquisition and now have absolutely no way to make profits with the company besides laying people off. They should be the next on the chopping block. Immediately, they should lose their jobs. And they should have people who actually know what the fuck they're doing move in to right the ship. Because right now, you got Captain Phil Spencer and first in command Matt Booty, and they literally have one hand on each side of the fucking wheel, driving the ship into the cliffside, and fucking splinters of wood are shooting everywhere, and the boat's capsizing, and everyone's abandoning ship, and everyone's like, oh well, just keep them in charge, that's fine. In fact, give them another boat. Buy another boat to put them on, right? Well, are you fucking crazy? They don't know what they're doing. It's obvious at this point. The problem is people like Phil Spencer, okay, are sadly charismatic, right? Phil Spencer's a charismatic dude. When you see him and he's wearing not a suit and tie, but he's wearing a cool jacket and a t-shirt. He looks like one of us. He's a gamer bro, right? So you get that mentality that he's your friend, that he's your buddy who you game with, and you like the guy. It doesn't matter, though. He's a horrible leader. So's Matt Booty writing this insane fucking email that literally has no factual basis. You have no big games to put your time and efforts into, you fucking moron. So these people should not be in charge. It's that simple. We need new blood to jump up. And we need new blood to take command of these companies. Because right now, the Yves Gamos and that evil fucking CEO of EA with his stupid douchey comb-over hipster Seattle haircut, and the fucking Phil Spencers and Matt Booties, these guys, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're the reason the industry is failing. When Phil Spencer is interviewed, and they say, so why are you doing these rounds of layoffs? He says, because the game industry is currently in a decline. Phil, you are the game industry. You're in charge of fucking Xbox. You're the reason for the decline. So don't punish your employees. Fucking quit. Punish yourself, you fucking mouth drooler. You're awful at what you do. You're ruining gaming because you're inept. Quit. Let someone else step up and fix Xbox. Because it ain't going to be you and it ain't going to be Corporal Booty. It's got to be somebody else. It's obvious at this point you have no fucking clue what you're doing. Stop ruining things for everyone under you who's a hard worker who deserves a living. And you're taking that away from them because you're making big moves, buying companies, but you're not making any fucking games. You're a games company that doesn't make games. I'm a little upset about this topic. I don't know if you guys can tell. Well, one thing's for sure. After today, I don't think anyone's going to call me an Xbot or Xbox fanboy. I'm pretty upset, honestly. And I just don't even know what's going to happen anymore. You know what I'm saying? I just don't even know. How can you even exist? They're literally doing nothing right at all. I don't think that they have done a single correct action in the last year. And it's continuing. You know, Game Pass is amazing. Is Game Pass the problem? Is the insustainability of Game Pass what's really going on here? If that's the case, just fess up and fucking cancel Game Pass and be like, sorry, we fucked up. We're sorry that you all like Game Pass. It's a great value for gamers, but we fucked up. We can't keep the company afloat anymore. We fucked it up bad, right? If that's the case, that's fine. Admit it, right? But I don't know, man. This drives me insane. I don't know why we have these people in power anymore, you know? I think what it is, if you take a look, we had Don Matrick before Phil Spencer, and Don Matrick was not the gamer bro. Don Matrick was the quintessential silver spoon in the mouth douchebag rich guy, right? Oh, Xbox One. If you don't have an always online connection, we have a console for you, the Xbox 360. Oh, you want to own your games? Too bad. Everything's digital. Everything's tied in. And here's the future. And in reality, a lot of the things that Don Matrick was saying during the launch of the Xbox One wasn't incorrect. He was just a complete douchebag, scumbag asshole about it. And therefore, that's why people hated him. And that's why Xbox One tanked at launch. It's his fault because he's just a piece of shit. Which is why he was promptly ousted out of the company. And then he went and ruined Zynga. And now he basically, I guess, probably runs a gas station somewhere or something. Who knows, right? But in the case of Phil Spencer, this guy is kind of the antithesis of that. When you look at Phil Spencer, you don't think rich guy. You don't think douchebag, you know, silver spoon in the mouth. But at the same time, is he doing any better, honestly? No. What has he really done? Tell me the positive stuff that Phil Spencer, Matt Booty, and these people are doing in charge of Xbox that's, you know, really keeping the company afloat. It's just failure after failure. How do you have an incredibly popular game in Halo Infinite and then botch it within 4 months and no one plays it anymore, right? It's like every time they have an opportunity for success, they blow it. I just don't get it, right? So, I don't know, man. This is very upsetting to me. Listen, I like Xbox. I like the gaming industry. It's my job as well as my hobby. And to hear the people who are talented losing their jobs because management doesn't know how to run the company, it makes me very upset. Really. Especially Tango Gameworks, you know? They just made Hi-Fi Rush, which was a great game, and they were on the right track to righting their ship and making better games, you know? Exactly. Don Finucci says, Phil Spencer currently has no signal. He's on his mega yacht in Belize. He can't hear you. There you go. Well, yes, of course. Bader says, well, Hi-Fi Rush was not financially successful by Microsoft standards. Yes, because they didn't advertise it. Remember what they did? They didn't even announce it. They just shadow dropped the game. And that game developers actually voiced their discontent with that model after the game launched. They said, we're happy that people are liking it now, but this game was ready like last year, and we don't know why Xbox didn't announce it. Like, they had a perfect opportunity during that Xbox event last year in 2022 to get hype for it and get people excited for it, and they literally just kept the fucking game a complete secret and shadow dropped it in early 2023 to no hoopla, no fanfare, just, oh, it's on Game Pass now, check it out. So why did you think it would sell? You see what I'm saying? Gee, Evil Within 2, we hope is a giant seller. Oops, no marketing. Gee, I wonder why it didn't sell. But these are management decisions. These are not game developer decisions. These are management decisions. These are Phil Spencer and Matt Booty decisions. And they're fucking up at every turn. And that's the point I'm trying to make here. Stop punishing the people who work the hardest to put out content for your company, and instead punish the people who truly are making the awful decisions at the company day in and day out, over and fucking over at this point. Okay? At this point, and you know, by the way, not just them, you got to look at the heads of the other companies too, the fucking Todd Howards, who they all were banking on Starfield being a giant success, and it is totally not. I mean, it's not a huge failure, but it's definitely not anywhere near the level they thought it was going to get. It is not culturally relevant. It is not even in the major discussions of people when it comes to big RPGs. It's just a flop, you know? And these people need to be held accountable for their fucking actions, and they're not. We have enough people now who have lost their jobs, thousands of people losing jobs because of a few small people who don't know what the fuck they're doing. Why are they still in charge? If you're a shareholder of Xbox, Microsoft, what are you doing? Are you stupid? Do you not understand that these people are dumb and don't know what they're doing? Get them the fuck out. Shareholders have power. Get these motherfuckers out of there. They don't know how to do anything. If I had stock in fucking Xbox, I sure as hell would be trying to get these fuck faces out of there. Jeez. All right. That's enough of me ranting about it today, guys. I knew this was going to go long because I can't even, I'm so upset I can't even click the right screen. Look at this. Where am I? Hold on. Here I am. I'm so upset I can't even click the right transition. I hate this shit. I hate this industry when this happens. It makes me so upset. These people do not deserve to be jobless. They don't. These people are hard workers. They're trying to make good stuff. And it's the management that's bad. Punish those who are responsible, not the fucking, you know, people on the ground level. This would be like saying McDonald's had a big gambit. They launched a brand new burger. Okay? But the burger was very expensive, the cost, but they were hoping really it was going to be amazing. Well, guess what? No one likes the burger. So they lost millions of dollars on it. So what did they do? They just fired 4,000 employees. Did the employees have the idea to make the burger? Did the employees fuck up the making of the burger at any point? No, no one liked the burger, the concept that didn't work for McDonald's. Why would you fire people who work at the line level? What did they do wrong? How does that even solve the fucking problem? Oh, because we need to have the shareholders get their money. So fire the management who don't deserve it and take their $10 million salaries and give it to the shareholders. Right? Like, what is going on? How does corporate America not understand that these corporate structures are broken and don't work? And it's not just America. It's all these corporations. This structure doesn't work. You're paying a guy millions of dollars to sink your company. And then you're afraid to fire him. Right? What are you? I mean, that's insanity. How do you think this is an operational thing that's going to sustain? It's not. It's just not going to sustain. And then when Xbox folds, they'll blame the industry instead of the people in charge, right? Phil Spencer will say, oh, we're just in a slump. You're the slump. You're the one who made the slump. Okay. Well, I've ranted and raved enough.
I got the drip going. 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 It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean. These dumb kids. This is what it is. It's dumb kids.